submit images, and then we have our own, our own people, our own amateur astronomers. They come by and vote on them. Okay, so you're being judged by your peers.
Sure.
And it's really cool because for the past, up until last year, I had a record going. I had won 5 years in a row. And last year I didn't win, but this year when I go back, I hope to win. I hope to take best of show.
Absolutely.
So anyway, I've been going to this conference ever since, like I said, coming to California was a life changer for me.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the 80s, I attended it back, and I think I've only missed like maybe 2 or 3 in all that time frame.
Uh-huh.
Every year, it's, over the Memorial Day weekend, you'll find me up in the mountains of Big Bear with my telescope with a couple hundred or a couple thousand other amateur astronomers looking at stars. So, it's a passion, just like my running, just like my cross-running.
Absolutely. And we've been talking to Alfredo Garcia Jr. here, who lives out in California. He's from the small South Texas town of Freer. And, real quick, last question before I let you go here.
Yep.
Coming home, Alfredo, you come home at least once a year, come back to Texas, come back to Freer. What is it like after you've been around the world, you've done all these amazing things, you live in California now? What's it like coming back home to Freer, Texas when you come home?
Okay, home is home, okay? Mm-hmm. It'll always be there, and it'll always be a part of me.
Sure.
Knowing what I know now, would I live back home? Probably not.
Sure.
If I would have stayed home, I wouldn't have known anything else, so I'd probably still be there.
Mm-hmm.
Coming into the military changed all that for me, gave me a totally different perspective. So now when I come home, I appreciate it a lot more. I still see the majority of my family still back home. Aunt, uncles, brothers, sister, so on and so on. Every time I go home, though, I see the town, and slowly but surely, it changes. Freer is one of those towns, that it changes over time, but very slowly.
Sure.
And things are slowly starting to disappear, or really getting torn down, or really in bad state of repair from the time I grew up. But they're still there. Buildings are still there. Mm-hmm. And when I go home, that's the first thing I do when I go home. I always set a day where I just kind of drive around town. And I go to all the spots that I remember, like Wally's Barber Shop, the Freer Pool, the high schools, the list, there's many things.
Mm-hmm.
And I always go back and the house that we grew up in, little 2-bedroom house that a family of 2 parents and 6 children grew up in.
Sure.
All those memories come back, and it's great to come back home and see that and experience it once again. It kind of revitalizes those memories every time, and it makes me kind of humble. I think that this is where I came from. These were my beginnings, and look at where I'm at now. And I look at this and I say, you know what? I owe a lot to this little town. This little town made me what I am. And I'm glad I went out and saw the world, but I'm always glad to come back home and
Absolutely.
see family, friends, etc.
Absolutely. Well, Alfredo, thank you for joining us today. It's been, he is absolutely one of the most, and I truly mean this, having worked with senators and governors and everything else, Alfredo Garcia Jr., who, what was your rank when you got out of the Air Force?
Oh, I retired as a lieutenant colonel.
Lieutenant colonel. And sitting here talking with Alfredo Garcia Jr., you get a sense of what it's like to leave small town Texas, join the military, and experience everything that the world really has to offer. And you're talking with a guy here who is probably the most content person I've ever seen with life. I mean, really and truthfully, and I really mean that. Now, Alfredo, happy Easter to you and your family. And
thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, and thank you for your service. We really appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing and hearing about more of your adventures as they come along.
Well, just keep checking Facebook. It's interesting. Facebook, I love it.
Yeah.
I'm a Facebookaholic, and I admit it, okay?
Sure.
My name's Alfredo. I'm a Facebookaholic, okay? But I like track of family. They keep track of you, vice versa.
Sure.
And if I'm ever not on Facebook, something's wrong. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
Something's happened. So
sure.
Be looking for all my adventures on Facebook, and there's many, many more to come. And it's a lot of fun.
Well, it is, and it's absolutely probably the most enjoyable Facebook page I think I have out of all the feeds that I look at every day. And so anyway,
thank you.
Alfredo, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. And again, thank you for your service. Happy Easter. Thanks for joining us here. And we look forward to talking to you again. All right. Take care.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Sounds good. So long from California. Bye-bye,
Take care.
guys.
Bye-bye. And that was Alfredo Garcia Jr. What an absolutely fascinating story. I mean, this is a guy who comes from small town Texas, Freer, Texas, where my dad grew up. I mean, these guys knew each other in high school and lived very similar lives. And comes from small town Texas, goes to college, joins the Air Force, meets all these interesting people. He picks up running. From a young age, he starts doing astronomy, and then talking about coming home. I've looked at Freer, Texas a lot, and I think Freer mimics a lot of small town Texas, where a lot of folks are maybe a little hesitant to leave. Alfredo Garcia Jr. is an example of the wonderful things that can happen when you do leave and experience the world for what it is. And it does. I think in our conversation with Alfredo, you can hear that the world's a very big place. But because of his service and the millions of people like him, we live in a free country that allows us to debate politics, talk about social issues and everything under the sun, and it allows us to speak freely each and every day. And for people like Alfredo, I am truly thankful and truly grateful. And that is the point. We should always, always, always be thankful for people like Alfredo Garcia Jr., who are absolutely make up the fabric of not only our great, wonderful state, but our country, and protect our freedoms. And that is an absolutely true honor to speak with Lieutenant Colonel Alfredo Garcia from Freer, Texas, on today's Insights. We look forward to it again. Thank you for joining us. We'll talk again soon. Take care, everybody.